Well, hello, I'm Anthony Treyes from strongmencoaching.com. And today I am excited because I get another opportunity to speak with someone who I've been getting a chance to get to know a little bit more. And he was on my podcast, the Strong Men podcast, not too long ago, late last year. But he recently came out with his bestseller, his USA Times bestseller book called Legendary. So I want to welcome Tommy Breedlove to have this chat with me. Tommy, how are you doing?
Anthony, good brother, and I'm so thankful to be here. So thankful for you. So thankful for this beautiful day here in the Southeast United States. I don't know what it's like in Colombia there, brother, but it's
Yes.
pretty here today, man. So I'm coming
Well,
to you live from outside.
that's that's awesome. It's good to have this chance to talk with you again. I read your book. And I was excited to read your book because I was like, hey, I kind of know you. We met online and stuff, and so I'm reading this book and it's fantastic. So Tommy has just recently released his book last month. Yeah, February. No, January, end of January, right? End of
It was
January.
the electronic version came out in January.
That's
The
right.
hardback and soft cover came out February.
Yeah.
And the Audible book was scheduled to come out March, but it'll come out early April. So the Audible book will be out here soon. So I'm super excited about that too.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that book is legendary, a simple playbook for building and living a legendary life and being remembered as a legend. Outstanding title. How'd you come up with that title?
So the reason we put it wasn't always that title. The
Yeah,
original
sounds.
title, which was horrible. It was it
That's
was
how it
called
goes.
from Pawn to King. I was like, oh. I think I was going through a Game of Thrones phase, man. And
Perfect.
and so the reason we came up with the title Legendary in a world of constant self promotion, especially on social media.
Yes.
If you or me, Anthony, were to call ourselves legends, people would laugh us out of the room.
Yes.
And so the reason we picked the title Legendary is because it's a title that's given to us by society, our culture, friends, neighbors. And you don't have to be rich and famous to be a legend. And you can also be a very, very good legend. Think the Martin Luther Kings and the Gandhis of the world, or
Yes.
you can be an atrocity, a terrible, terrible legend. I don't even want to give those people the air, but we know who they are.
Yes.
And so for me, to be legendary, it's something given to us by society. It's something that I aspire to. I think all of us ambitious, driven people really
Yes.
want to, and we don't, again, that has nothing to do with being rich or famous. It has to be, did we leave this world better than we found it?
Yes.
Did we leave our impact, hopefully in a very positive way? And this playbook is all about the positive side of hopefully being remembered as a legend. And it covers all phases of our lives,
Yes.
all things that we aspire toward, from financial confidence and freedom to reconquering our time, to our networks, to
Yes.
intimate relationships with our significant others. I mean, we don't leave anything out in this book. And I hope it sounds like you really enjoyed it. It's a
Yes.
very simple read. It's a very fast read,
Yes.
and it has some unbelievable tips that I applied first into my life. And now I've applied and I've deployed in so many, whether it's coaching or running masterminds or
Yes.
retreats. So many people have applied these simple tools in their lives, and it really takes a holistic approach from our money to our emotions to our mindset to our relationships to our network and our time and everything in between. And so, very, very proud of it. It was 46 years in the making, 3 years in the writing, and I think for a recovering perfectionist, it's really hard for me to say this, but I am so proud of the work. I am so proud of the team and the work in the book.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you should be. And, as I mentioned, I had you on my podcast here not too long ago, but it was great to read some of your personal stories and how you've gotten to where you are today. So let's kind of get into that, if you wouldn't mind. Like, you were top of the corporate ladder, so to speak. You had some run-in with the law at a young age. It seemed like you could have went either way, right?
Mm,
But you had
mm.
this opportunity and you did very well for yourself in the corporate world, but something wasn't working. Something you were willing to take some big steps or take a big risk, I should say. Would you share a little bit about that and a little bit about that early start?
Yeah, totally. I'll start at the beginning. And so I grew up in South Atlanta, And especially inside the home, there was a significant amount of violence and abuse. And so the worst thing that happens to you as a young man or a young woman for that matter, for me, what happened is I became what I hated. I became violence. And so at 18 years old, I was hoping to be the first person to go to college in my family, but instead committed a violent crime. And I was looking at 7 years in prison, thought my life was over. Luckily, they dropped it to 2 heavy misdemeanors. I was sentenced to 2 years and spent my 19th birthday incarcerated. And so I didn't go to college. I didn't, but what was really cool at that time is, and it's important to say this, an African-American gentleman became basically my first mentor in life. And that's really important to say because in incarceration, everything is clicked and it's usually on racial lines. And so for him to step across that line and to believe in me and see something in me was really, really an impactful, important thing that happened to me. And it also allowed me not to be a revolving door, right? You talk about the revolving door of the system. And so with his help and some self-belief, I picked myself up, dusted myself off. Went to work for a nuclear waste container factory during the day, community college at night, ended up at the University of Georgia here in the Southeast United States, and then to Deloitte. And so I went from jail to Deloitte & Touche, which is a giant accounting and public financial consulting firm within 3 years.
Wow.
So fast forward, I thought if I just outworked everybody, out-hustled everybody, made a lot of money, got the power, prestige, title, I would be happy. Unfortunately, that did not happen before. I checked off all those boxes. I had the money, the fancy car, the cufflinks, you name it, the corner office, the all glass office. And I found myself miserable and didn't know why. And it's because I never dealt with those wounds, insecurities, and fears from my past. And I was letting them hold me down as opposed to now I help them lift me up, right? Yes. And so I turned to all the darkness that you can think of that, a little bit of money, a little bit of power can get to you, and found myself laying in a ditch in Atlanta, looking up at the sky. I was probably doing some huge deal the week before in some boardroom, and found myself just staring up at the sky and said, why am I here? Why am I acting this way? This is not who I am, what I want to be. And this is not the integrity I want to have. And so, dude, I went on this 3-year journey, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, just figuring out who I was, who's coming with me, and where I wanted to go. Yes. And through that process, the coolest thing happened to me. My marriage became the best it's ever been. My friendships became the best they've ever been. The network I had exploded in all the right ways. And what was cool is I stayed in the financial world. And I went from junior partner to senior partner to elected to the board of directors to international practice leader. And then at 39 years old, I am at the very top of the game.
Yes.
But sometimes awareness is a good thing. And sometimes it can be awareness. Once you're aware, you can't become unaware.
Yeah.
And so I realized I found myself then looking up at the stars or the ceiling or I just don't want to do this. I mean, I can make as much money as my heart desires, but it wasn't my calling in life. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I call it purpose. Yes. That's what we talk about in my book, Legendary, is how do we discover our purpose, the why we are here on this earth. And I believe we all have a purpose, and it all changes depending on the season of your life. And so I just knew the money was never going to fulfill me. The title wasn't going to fulfill me, and I didn't enjoy the work. And so I took a big risk. I walked away at the top of the game, sold my equity in the firm. And what's really cool is because I went through such a massive transformation in my life, all of these entrepreneurs, executives, bankers, lawyers, accountants, advertising people in my network just started reaching out to me and say, dude, I don't know what you did or what pill you're taking, but give me some of that, because I didn't give up my drive. I didn't give up my ambition. I didn't give up the desire to have a massive impact in this world. Yes. But I was more happy. I was more fulfilled. I had an amazing marriage with my wife. And so a lot of people started reaching out to me. And that's when I knew my calling was in the writing, coaching, mastermind, public speaking business. And I haven't looked, that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
And so haven't looked back. It's been the most fulfilling, rewarding thing. I get to literally talk in the mirror every day. I'm like, Tommy, are you hearing the things you're coaching about? Because you need to apply this in your life, brother. Yes. But it's fulfilling work. It's service work. It's impactful work. Guys like you and me, I wish there was 10 million of us out there, carrying the torch to say, you can have it all in life. You can chase your dreams. It takes work. There's no magic pill. There's no quick fix.
Yeah.
It takes work. It takes coaching. It takes a tribe. It takes, I still to this day have a coach.
Yes.
I have a coach that I pay. I'm in a mastermind that I pay to be in.
Yes.
And so I'm surrounding myself with people to help make me better so that I can serve myself, my family, and my community, brother. And so that's a really quick version, take you through my journey. That's my journey to date.
No, that's absolutely incredible. And it seemed like a lot of things happen, fairly well. I'm sure there's other like these details and stuff, but you took a big risk, and I know, like you mentioned in the book, your boss was like, I am paraphrasing here, is like, you're absolutely crazy. Do you really know what you're giving up? And but you had this event that made you basically stop and reflect. As we're experiencing this worldwide, pandemic right now in our life, and a lot of people are home, and a lot of people they're worried and perhaps depressed. But I also think, and this has been, at least for my case, it has really given me an opportunity to, it's kind of like that event where it's made me to really sit down and think about all the things, different areas of my life, and really a lot of self-reflection. And so this could be that event for a lot of people where we start, maybe hopefully reconnecting. This time is an opportunity to reconnect with your spouse or reconnect with your children, to take a breather. And this could be that opportunity for so many people worldwide to allow us to, maybe that job isn't fulfilling, or maybe that I'm trying to think, drug, or the bad things
relationship, right?
Relationship. Yeah, exactly. Relationships, drugs, bad things, or whatever, to be like, that's not what I want in my life. And there's something better. And this could be a really a world changer, right? For so many people. What do you think about that?
I totally, and to me, everything is a matter of choice, how you look at things, right? Yes, it's a challenging time. Yes, we're scared. Yes, people are sick. This isn't this is not an enemy like we know. We don't know this enemy. This enemy we can't see. It comes and it doesn't discriminate on who we are and what it does.
No.
But it's also a time, like you said, I mean, we can see the darkness and fear in the world, or we can see the light. And you're seeing the world come together and a common cause to fight this. You're seeing a lot of love being generated out in the world, people stepping in and stepping up to serve their fellow human beings. And it's been remarkable to watch from a distance. And you're also seeing most of us, not all of us, but most of us being very respectful to this, what we need to do to get through this as a community.
Yes.
And you said it best. I think it's all about choices, and the only true power we have in life is our choices. Absolutely. Our mindset, attitude, and choices. And you can use this opportunity. If you don't know your purpose, and I promise you this, everyone in the world has a purpose. It changes during the season of your life. But if you find yourself looking up at the stars and you're unfulfilled and unhappy, I want you to go find the nearest mirror and go look into it. And that's the problem. Yes. And so you can choose to invest in yourself right now. You can choose to Audible book, go on YouTube. You can go, you can read. There's so much you can do to invest in yourself right now while we have the time, to learn skills around money or financial confidence, to really start working on self-respect and unconditional love for yourself, to really discover why you're here and the purpose you have in life. So this is an opportunity for you to participate in your own rescue. And it's just like going to the gym. I mean, we're not going to stay in shape and be great athletes if we don't go to the gym every single day, right? Or we're not going to be healthy if we don't eat right and go to the gym, everything. The same thing goes with your professional life, your business life, your emotional life, your mental life, and your spiritual life. Is we need to invest in ourselves every single day and build our mental fortress, our emotional fortress, our physical fortress, so that we can go out and serve the world better, whatever your calling is. And it could be anything. And the sky is the limit on what you can do. And so I know the two people on this particular video agree with that. But now is this sounds cliche, but what I love about cliches is they're true. Now it's Carpe Diem, right? Seize this day. And it only takes about an hour a day. You could learn a new skill around money. You could start rediscovering who you are, where you're going, who's coming with you. I mean, this is the time from A to Z. My wife's coming in right now, so I love this. So you might see my dogs and wife walk by.
Yes.
But this is the time. If there's ever been an opportunity when we all want to be connected right now. And now we know how grateful it is to hug that neighbor, or shake that neighbor's hand, or to go have dinner.
Absolutely.
But now is the time while we have to be apart in order to save ourselves. Now is the time for us to really dig deep down inside and discover who we want to be. And I'm totally with you, man.
Yeah,
totally with you.
And I think this is a perfect time, and I absolutely believe this is a good time to go and pick up your book, Legendary. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why I say that really is because, like you mentioned, it's a choice, right? We have choices every day, and it's a accumulation of all those choices that we make on a daily basis. Really, what I like to look at is like, you have this moment right now, this present moment, and that's all you have. The past is done, and oftentimes we can, we do want to do some self-reflection, but not stay there, because the past is done. And if we stay there, it causes a lot of could be depressive, right? But then also, if we're worried about the future, and that could cause us to have a lot of anxiety right now. We have a lot of uncertainty right now. Things are going to change. But all we really have is this present moment, this moment that we have, whatever choices are in front of us, we have this moment right here in time. And it is difficult for a lot of people, but right now, as we think about what's next in our life, so many of us are homebound. All of us are, we're at home. We're trying to deal with the situation at hand. But this is also an opportunity just to ask ourselves, like, what's next? And I think your book, and the reason why I like it so much, is because it's, like you mentioned, it's not, you're not a legend, right? We're not, but it's something that you do.
I hope to be.
Yeah. But it's something you work through over time. And that's what your book does, is it creates this, as it says, this simple blue book, this blueprint for you to be able to live out that life. You point out so many important areas that, and as you mentioned earlier about awareness, once you're aware of something, right, you can't be unaware of it. You can't.
I know. Once you see, you can't unsee.
yeah, that's right. Right. You can't block that image in your mind, but once it's there, it's there. And that's what your book does, I think, so well, is if someone reads it, they can't go and be unaware of the most important areas of our life that you cover. And, and one of the things that I liked about it, and one thing that hit me as an entrepreneur, right? There might be a lot of entrepreneurs listening, is outsourcing. And that to me was, and I've learned it later. And let me, because I was this perfectionist for so many years, and I hate to think about the years that I wasted because I wanted to do everything. Because why? Because I wanted the credit, right? It's like, no one helped me. I made myself the millionaire, right? No one helped. But when you look at that, it's, first off, you could only do it for so long, and it's not healthy, right? It's not healthy. And the one thing that I learned was through all this was that there are people who actually love to do what you absolutely hate. There are people who love to make spreadsheets. There are people who want to do the taxes, or who are numbers. And to me, it was like, or graphic designers, website designers, and audio editors, and video editors, like,
who are so much better at it than we are as well.
Absolutely. And they love to do it. It's just like, when you could get to that point where, you're outsourcing everything. I in some way outsource my grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping, so I order my groceries, right?
Hey,
and it's
I hear you, brother.
And it's just these little things. It's like, what? There's somebody who loves to do what I absolutely hate to do. And so, but I know it takes those resources, but I think you could start off. You don't have to start off right away by outsourcing, but it is also important for entrepreneurs, especially those perfectionists like us, perhaps, and recovering perfectionists. It's like,
yeah, I call myself a recovering perfectionist.
That's right. I do as well, because it was just, when I started my podcast, I did everything, A to Z. I did it all. I did the audio editing. I did everything because, well, I could do it. But at the same time, it takes me away from doing what I absolutely love to do, and that's coaching, that's teaching. that's what I love to do. And that was taking away all these little things because you only have so much energy in a day, right? And I think you
It's
covered that.
energy and time. It's
That's right.
energy and time. And I value time as I would say I value love first, honestly, because
Mm-hmm.
I love my family, love my
Yes.
wife, love my friends, I love my network, love my clients. I think
Yes.
love to me it's all a choice too, right? But I think my most valuable asset in my entire life is time.
Mm.
And perfectionism is a myth. It doesn't exist. We'll never be
Yes.
perfect. And us, a lot of us, and I'm saying us, like to think we're in control, and we like to think that things are going to be perfect. But when we surrender and let go and allow our tribes, our communities,
Mm.
our colleagues to do their jobs and to do it well, it makes our lives so much easier, so much more convenient. And you said it best. I think you and I like practicing our craft.
Yes.
If I'm not talking or coaching or teaching or leading, I'm not happy.
Yes.
And there's so many people around us that are so good, and we're taking away from them when we don't allow them to do their jobs and do it well, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I think outsourcing just in life, especially in today's modern societies with technology and all of the resources we have at our disposal, most of us, not everyone has it, but
Yes.
90% of us have that,
Yes.
is outsources everything we can, because at the end of the day, I don't want to have any regrets on how I use my time and who I spend my time with. And I
Absolutely.
also want to allow others, I call it your zone of brilliance in the book. I
Yes.
want
Yes.
others to literally use their zone of brilliance to help us make impact in this world. And so I
Yes.
think it's a super good point that you make.
Yes.
And thank you for
Now,
the love of the book, by the way. Thank you for all that love of the book. I mean, it's what
no,
I
I
like
th-
about it's simple, right? You can apply one thing in your life, and I promise you, a year from now, your life will be 10x better.
absolutely. And, I really encourage, everyone listening to really go pick that book and you're going to get something out of it. And really in life, if we look back at it, we're around the same age. We look back at it and all these different stages that you go through and these things that you eventually, unfortunately, some of us become aware of some things, a little bit later in life. And we wish, right? We wish, man, I wish I would have known this years ago.
Never give up, though, right? I
Right.
mean,
But that's
it's
right.
never too late to start either. Never too late to start.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where I went back to, where about thinking about the past, the wouldas, the couldas. It's like, we can't change that. It doesn't matter
Nope.
how old you are right now, whatever it may be. It's like, accept that, start today and move
And learn
forward
from it.
and learn from it and build from there. And so the awareness piece, because you cover so many important pieces. And one of the things also that I really enjoyed is the reminder, and this was a good reminder for myself, because I think I have lost it in the last couple of years because I'm really putting in a lot of work, and I do take some time to rest. But one of the things you point out is to put time for fun. I was, when I was reading that part, I was like, and I know for me, I, yeah, I do fun things, but not where it's like scheduled or where it's like, it really brings out some energy in me. It's not like my life is boring. I have an amazing life, but those aspects that really are fun and that, rejuvenate you. And so that was something that I think so many of us, don't really take in the time. And I want to think also of traveling, how you mentioned, the importance of traveling, especially traveling abroad, and where you do. That's what I love so much about traveling, because so much of a lot of my awareness has come from the exposure of different cultures, different languages, different things of how people think. And they're not, it's just been incredible. So many pieces. I'm telling you, grab the book. It's awareness. Your life is going to change.
I think fun is something all of us, especially the more ambitious you are, the more driven you are, the more impact you want to make, it can become a challenge. And if we're not having fun, we're not living. And for me and my wife, it's so serious, brother. And just so you know, I practice everything I preach. I mean, let me show you
Yes.
something that's like right next to me. Like literally, I have the Daily Stoic Journal. I
Yeah.
journal every single day right next to me. I
Yeah.
have, speaking of different philosophies, I'm not Buddhist, but I read Buddhist philosophies because
Yes.
it's brilliant, and
Yes.
it's ancient wisdom. But for
Yes.
me, when it comes to fun, is I'm so serious about it that I schedule it. And I know that sounds, and I will literally schedule time for my wife and I to go walk.
Yes.
I will literally schedule time, and I enjoy everything nature. I enjoy water. You see the water probably
Yes.
behind me. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I want to schedule it, because if I don't schedule it, it won't happen. And again, it goes back to choices and time. And I know me, I'll just keep working, right? Or
Yes.
I'll just keep going, and that's not
Yes.
helping me. And I don't want to look back with regrets. And I think you
Yes.
said something, again, that the book covers every single facet of our lives. And it is literally the book that saved my life. The tools in
Yes.
that book saved my life.
Yes.
And I've seen it work on countless of other people. And it's no longer anecdotal, it's statistical. But you said
Yes.
something that I think one of the most life-changing is, and I don't know about around the world, but especially in America, a lot of people don't get out. And we allow our media to tell us what we should think about the world. And you don't know the world until you've smelled it, tasted it, touched it, walked it, heard people's different philosophies, looked at people differently, and you eat their food and you break bread with them and you hear their whys and who they are, and you realize how connected we really are.
Oh, yeah.
And how all of us humans want to be seen, loved, safe, valued. We want to be healthy. And at the end of the day, we're not all that very different. And what I've discovered is the more I travel the world, and I've traveled a lot of places,
Yeah.
is how little I know, how great human beings truly are, and how we want the scenes, and how and I live in the United States, and I love the United States, but we don't have it all figured out.
Yes.
And, you see how people in Europe treat their food and when they break bread together, it's an event. It's joy. It's just not something to nourish your body. It is literally a thing.
Yes.
And you're in Colombia, when you go down to
Yes.
Colombia and you see the beautiful people and the dancing and the rhythm and just the goodness, it's just so special. And so to me, the more I read, the more I listen, the more I get coached, and the more I travel, it literally, I realize how little I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Tommy, let's do this to finish it up. How, I work with men, and you do as well. You work with a lot of people, and, what can you say for, people who are watching, right now? There's just so much uncertainty, and I actually gave myself a little bit of some time. I was watching the news constantly for like the last week or so, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a week off, and and I'm just gonna send my positive, thoughts and feelings, and things are happening, right, and we're on a little bit more of a lockdown than in the United States. The United States, you could pretty much still be open, but it's really strongly encouraged, hey, stay home and think of all this. But
our state starts tonight. Our state locked down tonight.
oh,
The
okay.
state that I live in, that's why I came out to my little cabin. It's tonight. Tonight the lockdown starts.
Yeah. Okay. So
we're a little behind, though.
Yeah.
We needed to be doing this a month ago.
Yes. I mean, I've been in my apartment. I have not left for over 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I'm lucky. I can go out for groceries to buy groceries, but I've chosen to have them delivered to me. But, there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of men who probably like, what am I going to do? Perhaps they've lost their job. There's the list could go on and on. But as I mentioned earlier, this could be a wake up call. This could be that accident. This could be that wake up call, as I mentioned, for a lot of people. What would you say for them who, we're all in this situation right now throughout the world, the United States? What's something that you would leave with them?
I'm going to leave a couple of things with them. First of all, the truth is we're all scared. We're facing something we don't understand. It's a brutal killer, and we're all in this together. So first of all, never, ever, ever give up until your last breath. You're talking to a guy who had no self-confidence, no self-respect, no self-love for a long, long time. And if I can do this, anybody can do this. So the first thing I'd say is you're not alone, and don't give up. And you said it best. This is the time while we're practicing, I like to call it physical distancing and not social distancing.
Yes.
We have to be physically distant from each other, but we can be socially connected. And now's the time with modern day technology, from texting to video. I mean, you're seeing us talk, and we're on 2 separate continents and we're talking right now.
Yes.
It's a time for connection. It's a time for service, and it's a time to serve yourself. And I would encourage everyone to watch as little news as possible. If something major happens in the world, 10 people are going to text you about it anyway.
Yes.
And it'll just make you, if you go on a 48-hour news fast, you will feel so much better. And one of the things I've done is I've also really modified my social feeds. If people are spewing negativity and political division and all of a sudden everybody's become a virus expert. Yesterday they were a baker and now they're a virus expert. And so I've really cut out that on so if I look at my social media feed, it is all positivity, innovation, love, goodness. And so that's one thing I've done. And I can't stress this enough. And there's so many ways to consume so much good content. I personally enjoy listening to books more than I do reading them. And I would encourage, if there's a skill that you need, if you need to build more confidence around money, or you need to finally get rid of that noise in your head that tells us we're not good enough. And we all have that, right? It's mastering our mindset, or you need to learn more skills to conquer your time, or I don't like the particular career I'm in. This is an opportunity to maybe seek of how do I do something else that I would enjoy more. So now's the time, not only for connection, as much as we can, through technology. It's a time to be of service. If you're of service to one of your neighbors or fellow people, and it could be a simple phone call, it could be a smile across from a patio, or it could be, how do I contribute to society when we're going through this thing? So now's the time of service. But just as important, if not, now's the time to prioritize ourselves. And books like Legendary, books like Think and Grow Rich, books like The Daily Stoic, these are books I would read every single business and mindset and self-development book I could get my hands on. I do that anyway.
Yes.
I mean, you and I's business, I can't get enough. I hope Tony Robbins writes 20 more books. I'm serious. I hope it, because I'm going to read them all. And so the books like Legendary, books like The One Thing, books like Think and Grow Rich. I mean, there's just so much information out there, and there's so many different ways you can consume that knowledge. But it's not just about consuming the knowledge. It's applying the knowledge into your lives. You can take simple steps every single day just to be a little bit better. And you'll be shocked in 365 days how far you've come.
That's right.
And it'll help with your emotions. It'll help with your mindset. It'll help with your happiness, your peace of mind. And at the end of the day, it'll help with your success and money as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely amazing. And, right now, as you mentioned, it is perhaps, the good time to consume and to learn a certain skill. And there's going to be hopefully one thing that you and all throughout this new information is going to be the awareness, and it's about changing the mindset. It's about changing the belief system that has put you in perhaps certain situations. And now is that time to really focus on yourself, really get some new information that can help you in your life and where you're going to go next. There's a lot of uncertainty, but the one thing you're going to take wherever you go is your mindset, your beliefs. And this is perhaps an opportunity to change that and to make it better. So I'm going to encourage. I know the audiobook hasn't come out yet. If you're an audio
within 2 weeks, it'll be here within 2 weeks.
If you're an audio person, 2 weeks. Wait. If not, make sure that Legendary is one of the books that you go out and get. I got the Kindle version. I love Kindle version books. I read a lot. Love being able to just.
And it'll read for you. It'll read it to you.
Yeah. So whatever you like, get it, become aware of, and, be open to learning something new. Perhaps it might be something out of the ordinary, maybe perhaps read, as Tommy mentioned, he's not a Buddhist, but he reads Buddhist readings, Buddhist teachings. Be open to learning something new that might be a little just out of the ordinary that you would read, something a little spiritual, something a little more business spiritual, whatever it may be, just be open to that. So Tommy, thank you so much. Enjoy it sounds like you're going to be going home and staying home for a little bit. I've been doing it here for a while, I know you'll continue to stay, for those who are home, make sure you're exercising, staying, get that blood rushing, that heart beating, that's going to help in keeping your mind, your mind strong, because it can be very easy to get depressed in this situation and get,
Indeed.
and have the anxiety of the future. But when you got to take care of yourself and being physically fit, get that blood pump and do some exercise. There's so many exercises that you don't need any weights for. You don't need anything. You just have your body do something physical with your family, with your, just do keep that physical fitness going during this time. So Tommy, thank you so much. Thank you for your book and getting this great information out to more people who hopefully come across your book and the things that you're doing to improve this world and people's lives. Continue to do what you're doing. And thank you for your book and all the work that it goes into it, right? To write a book, it's not easy. That's why a lot of people don't do it. But
Indeed.
keep it going, brother. Stay safe out there, and let's stay in touch.
Anthony, I'm so grateful for everything and you, brother, and hope to get to hug you soon in South America, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you.